So my new greenhouse out in the pasture is nearing its completion, so I just wanted to take some time to catch everyone up on what's happening in the original greenhouse, which was little more than a bathroom with some big windows that I converted into a seedling nursery. Watching these guys grow in here has definitely been the highlight of my time out here. It's always been a dream of mine to have a decent garden, something to grow, whether that was even just on an apartment patio. So having this huge amount of land out here to do whatever I can imagine has just been amazing. So I've definitely been going pretty hard on these guys, and I feel like it's paying off just in the experience. So far I've been pretty successful. I was trying to prevent these guys from getting root bound to where all their roots are getting tangled up and strangling each other, so as soon as they kind of stalled the growth, I went ahead and upgraded them to the bigger pots. Pretty much every time I did that, they would definitely start shooting up again and getting some crazy growth on them, particularly with the tomatoes and the peppers. Because they had to stay in the greenhouse for so long, they definitely outgrew these little 1x1 cells, so a lot of them got upgraded to 2-inch or 4-inch pots, as well as some of the herbs and other things that just weren't quite ready to go out. As I kind of learn more and more here and figure out what's working and not working and where I'm seeing the best success, I've been continuing to upgrade and evolve this place. One big upgrade that I made was throwing a couple new shop lights in here that we had sitting around in the barn that weren't getting used. So I went ahead and hung a couple chains from the ceiling that I could set them up on and adjust the height, and got them wired together and hooked to the timer. Now I've got a great couple of stations that I can use for some of the more low light things, and some additional light for those ones that are right in front of the window that aren't quite getting everything they need, which has been perfect for the peppers. And then on that lower shelf that's away from the window, I was able to put most of the greens and brassicas, onions, stuff that doesn't need quite as much intense light. And then the original kind of set of shelves in the backside that I had been using to both sprout seeds and kind of grow some of the seedlings ended up changing more into just a straight up germination tent. That way it could hold more of the humidity and heat inside of it, which has been working really well. I also picked up this lighting panel from Spider Farmer. It's just the right size for my tomatoes, although they are starting to outgrow it at this point. But I got them set up in this corner over here to kind of take advantage of that light panel, and they've been doing super well underneath it, as you can probably tell. The peppers and tomatoes have definitely been my favorite plants to watch grow. Even inside this little greenhouse, the changes are pretty fast and dramatic compared to some of the other plants, which constantly teaches me how to adjust. It shows me what I gotta watch for, where I need to learn more, and just how to take care of these guys and other plants. Since so much of this is all new to me, I spend a good chunk of time daily learning new things, figuring out how to take care of these plants, why something happened, preparing for what comes next, and just building that foundational knowledge that I need to keep things running around here. If you have any knowledge to share, I'm always up for hearing pro tips, whether it's about growing your own food supply or the millions of other things that you wish you knew when you started your homestead. Be sure to drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I wanted to make the most of the season getting some plants growing while there was still snow outside, so I've been able to move quite a few of these plants out into the shaded garden already that will tolerate some light frost. But this place has still stayed full and very busy as I continue to start more and more plants to keep on schedule. The peppers and tomatoes still call this room home and are definitely clamoring to get into their new place. They've gotten pretty big and spend most days outside soaking in some sun and getting tough enough for the transition. But the weather hasn't really played along. I just gotta wait out these last few freezing nights. Our projected last frost date is a little over a week away now, but the weather here can be really unpredictable. For months now, we swing from 80 to 90 degrees in the middle of the day and drop down to the 20s at night, and sometimes wake up to snow the next morning. Starting to harden some of our other plants, hoping to get most of these guys moved out into the garden. That's our bok choy, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and continuing to get the tomato plants some sun and our pepper plants. So We've got all stages of growth happening in here these days. Some of the real early on ones that haven't made it outside are the tomato plants, and then our pepper plants that are up on the top row here. Got our serranos, poblanos, Thai chilies, California wonders, habaneros, jalapenos. And then I've got 3 different varieties of tomatoes, the beefsteaks, Romas, and cherry sweets. Blueberry bush I picked up a couple weeks ago. It's getting ready to go outside. And these 2 trays are also about ready to transplant. I'm just waiting on this little bit of a cold spell we're gonna have this week. We started some of our warmer summer crops, like our cucumbers that are gonna be going into the greenhouse, eggplants, stuff like that. And in our little germination tent setup we've got over here, this has 2 new trays of onions, which I got a late start on, but just looking at my garden, I know I'm gonna need more. So I got a new tray of those started. And then this guy here is our artichokes, some more eggplant. Reason being is this was the first set of eggplant I started. So these ones are somewhat okay. You can see that this leaf got chomped on, but then also these 2, the seed leaves got completely eaten. And that is from the caterpillars that have been finding their way in. You can see that they've done it to a couple of the plants already, which is why now these are up on these boxes with these trays of water underneath them and these big lips. I'm just trying to do everything I can to keep the caterpillars away. But our tomato plants are just getting absolutely massive in terms of just having them indoors, and I'm really anxious to get them outside into the greenhouse. And the same with our peppers. They've been growing and they're just about hitting my lights, so about time to adjust those up some more. But it's been going pretty well as far as cranking out seedlings. We're every day getting new stuff started, it seems like, and getting stuff that's been ready out into the garden and getting it all transplanted, and it's been going pretty well. So hopefully I'll have this new greenhouse finished up within the week, and hopefully by next week I can go ahead and start getting everything planted in there.